أهلا بحضراتكم. لقاء يتجدد كل أسبوع وجناب السفير. دولتنا النهاردة اللي هنتكلم عنها هي مملكة بلجيكا. طبيعة ساحرة، أثار بتمتد إلى سنوات عديدة ماضية، قرون عديدة نقدر نقول، سياحة تاريخية، مطبخ متميز ومختلف، أنواع مختلفة من الشوكولاتة بيشتهروا بيها. هنتكلم كمان عن سجادة مكونة من الزهور، هي شكل كبير لشكل السجادة ولكن من الزهور، فده شيء طبعا رائع وشيء جميل. ناحية جمالية، ناحية خضراء، نظام ملكي، نظام ليه طبيعة خاصة، لأنه دايما النظام الملكي بيختلف وبيكون فيه طبيعة خاصة، بيكون فيه ستايل مختلف حتى في حياة الشعب نفسه. سفيرنا النهاردة كان موجود في مصر منذ سنوات عديدة كسائح، وجه من سنتين تقريبا كسفير. هيكلمنا عن تطور العلاقات المصرية البلجيكية اللي بتمتد ل 150 سنة تقريبا. بنرحب بسعادة السفير فرانسوا كورنيه ديليسيوس، سفير مملكة بلجيكا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية وجمهورية السودان. Nice to meet you, sir, in our program.
Thank you very much, Shireen, for welcoming me.
So we will talk about the relation and the wrong relations between Belgium and Egypt. What you are going to say?
Well, we are all friends.
Yeah.
We have hanged around in Egypt since Muhammad Ali, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Our diplomatic relations date from 1870, I think.
Mm.
And so it's very, even 1837, I think, for the first establishment. So it's very old relations. And we have played a certain role because we were very important industrial power in Europe at this time, and so there was a lot of cooperation between Egypt and Belgium in the 19th century and and during the 20th century. So we are very old friends, I would say.
So we'll talk about the relations between Egypt and Belgium now, and the cooperation in many fields, such as trade exchange. What you are going to say about this relations?
There are many fields of relations.
And the Belgium investments in Egypt.
There are many fields. We talked about the archaeologic relations, cultural relations, and there we have several works ongoing in the country with people studying the graves and studying the monuments of Egypt. Mm-hmm. There are, of course, plenty of tourists. In the good years, we would have something like 150,000 tourists, which is a lot for Belgium, which is of the size of Giza. Mm-hmm. Maybe less for Egypt, but it's still a big destination for us. And then there's trade. There's good trade, but maybe less than there will be in the future, because we are working on it. And of course there are investment. Egypt is for the moment equipping itself for ports, havens, infrastructures, and we do participate in these efforts. The new museum of Cairo, for example, is built by a Belgian company, a joint venture between an Egyptian and a Belgian company. Many ports, the enlargement of the Suez Canal was made here.
There's a cooperation between the Suez Canal port and Antwerp port in Belgium.
Yeah, no, yes, that's another thing. I was talking about the dredging of the new canal, which was made by a Belgian company.
Yeah, I know.
And this company, for example, is holding for the moment its boards here in Egypt, because Egypt is so important to them. But yes, Antwerp is an interesting partner for Egypt, because it's a port that's in the middle of Europe in a way. It's a port that's 150 kilometers within Europe. And it's actually rather similar to the ports of Egypt, where Cairo, 20 million people, is located also very close to the port. So there's natural cooperation between the haven of Antwerp and the havens in Egypt.
You had visited Suez Canal Economic Zone, and there is a cooperation between the port and the port of Antwerp in Belgium?
It is interesting. I think you have planned to develop, for example, petrochemical in this zone around the Suez Canal. Of course, Suez Canal is right in the middle of the world trade, so for you it's extremely interesting. And yes, there is an immense, the second largest petrochemical zone in the world is in Antwerp. So yes, there's possible connections there, which are very possible, and we are studying. The Haven of Antwerp is there very frequently. They're trying to develop projects in a kind of a very, very down-to-earth and realistic base, because that's how we are in Belgium usually. So it's a series of small projects that grow bigger and integrate, and so it is a very interesting cooperation.
So we'll talk also about the cooperation in energy field.
Yes, you probably have known about the hydrogen revolution, because in Europe we have decided with the Green Deal to go green, and so we need clean hydrogen. And so there's a very interesting cooperation which is studied for the moment between a consortium of Belgian companies and Egypt to produce and exploit green hydrogen in Egypt.
So we will talk also about the lifestyle in Belgium. As I said in the introduction, the royal style of living is different, and to be in a kingdom is different in a republic. What's about your style of living in Belgium?
We don't wear, everybody doesn't wear a crown in Belgium, though, so it's exactly the same kind of living. I would say the king, the royal family, this is all very decorative, but it's a functioning democracy as any other. And the daily life in Belgium is the same as it would be in France and in Britain.
So we will talk also about the sites in Belgium and the special places in Belgium. So what we are going to say, if I'm going as a tourist in Belgium. So such as flower carpets.
Yes, Belgium is a city of is a country of rich cities. Basically what happened is that in Middle Ages, little city grew big and immensely rich in Belgium. And that was in the Middle Ages. And they were very affluent. So every 30 kilometers in Belgium, you have got a little city with beautiful things, beautiful churches, beautiful tapestries, fantastic things. And so that's the interest of Belgium. It is in the small cities, a bit everywhere in Flanders and Wallonia. So if I would recommend you to go to visit Belgium, I would recommend you to visit Ghent, Brugge, Antwerp, Brussels, Nijvel. All those little cities are jewels, medieval jewels.
So we'll talk also about Egypt and your stay in Egypt, as you said to me, and your diplomatic career. You are a son of a diplomatic man, of an ambassador. So tell us about your dream, how it's come true to be an ambassador and to be a diplomatic.
My ancestors dates back from the 17th century, and I found their trace, and there's a painting of them, and it's actually representing a family of diplomats, because in the 17th century the family was actually serving as translators, terjemaan, diplomats for the big rulers. My father is a diplomat, my brother is a diplomat, I am a diplomat, and I always wanted to be a diplomat. I always wanted to represent and to represent.
You study business?
I beg your pardon?
What's your study? Business?
I studied business, but I didn't like money. Basically, I want to have money, but I don't want to make it. So I was very happy when I could leave the business area and enter the public affairs area.
You find diplomatic career as you imagined before?
Yes.
Or it's different?
No, very much so. It's not a very difficult job, but you have to represent your country at all moments, even when you sleep.
Yeah.
And that asks for asks for peculiar talents, but it's not a very intellectual, very difficult job. It's not.
But how
rocket
to control your
sciences.
feelings, how to control your style of talking, of speaking, take care of every aspect of your life. It's all restricted.
It's a means that you have to be very aware that you
very
have
aware.
the representative of your country, and which means that of course you have to be dignified. You have to be, but it is the fact that you represent your country. Basically, I love this. That's why I'm a diplomat.
سعادة السفير الحقيقة بيحكي لي عن ان هو قد ايه كان حابب ان هو يبقى دبلوماسي، ووالده دبلوماسي واخوه دبلوماسي. فبقول له يعني انت شفت المهنة فعلا بعد ما عملت فيها زي ما كنت تتخيلها؟ فقال لي تقريبا، يعني هي مش مهنة صعبة جدا فكريا، ولكن هي محتاجة دايما ان انا اكون بمثل بلدي. قلت له بس هي فيها نوع برضو من التقييد، ان انت دايما تخلي بالك من تصرفاتك، من كل الافعال، من كل الاشياء اللي حواليك. قال لي هو برضو ده يندرج تحت نقطة ان انا دايما بمثل بلدي. كلمني كمان عن الحياة في بلجيكا كحياة يعني ممتعة وجميلة، وانه يعني الشعب راقي، وانه عندهم عديد من المدن فيها سياحة جميلة جدا وفيها اماكن سياحية متميزة جدا. وكمان كلمني عن العلاقات بين مصر وبين بلجيكا في مجال التجارة، في مجال المواني واللوجستيات، في مجال الطاقة، اكتر من مجال. So when you come to Egypt, and before Egypt you were in Italy?
I have been in Italy, which is a little bit like Flanders, a city of a country of rich cities.
Yeah. What's your experience in Italy?
Italy is probably redefined my vision of beauty. The cities are so beautiful, art of works, everybody, everywhere, paintings, beautiful churches. So this is, and of course, a way of life.
You are fond of archaeology and architecture?
I'm fond of architecture, yes, very much so. So Islamic architecture here in Egypt is fantastic. Is fantastic, and the old Mamluk mausoleums that you have in the City of the Death, for example, is absolutely flabbergasting. It's absolutely beautiful.
And your experience in Italy also including Italian food?
Oh yes, of course, of course.
Pizza,
yes, pasta, pizza of all kinds, but also the fact that in every region you have special dishes.
Yeah.
So in every little city you have its special dishes, and of course you've got its special wines, which is hors sujet for Egypt, but which is very, very pleasant, of course, in Italy itself.
سعادة السفير بيكلمني عن تجربته في إيطاليا، وإنه هناك طبعا كان في أنواع مختلفة من الأطعمة في كل مدينة، وأنواع مختلفة من النبيذ، وبيكلمني عن الكنائس الجميلة اللي فيها يعني فن جميل جدا في المعمار، وهو مولع الحقيقة بفن العمارة، وخصوصا موجود هنا في مصر في الحضارة الإسلامية، وما تركه المماليك من أثار موجودة هنا في مصر. هو يعني شديد يعني حقيقي الاستمتاع بهذه النوعية من الأثار. What about your family? They are stay with you here in Egypt?
No, unfortunately, no. My kids are now studying at university in Belgium. The family life was probably the best experience I had in my life, I must say. I enjoyed every minute of having children, but no, unfortunately, they are grown-up guys, and they have left the house, of course.
They decided their future and where they are going to, and they are boys or
two boys, twin boys. I would of course very much like to be diplomats, but it doesn't seem to be their ideas for the moment.
Oh, they changed the idea.
They didn't have this idea.
Yeah, they didn't have this. No. They still study.
They still study. Yes.
Yeah. الحقيقة لما سألته عن حياته العائلية وعن أولاده، قال الحقيقة إن هو بيستمتع جدا بحياته العائلية، وعنده ولدين، لكن هم بيدرسوا في بلاد تانية غير بلجيكا، وان هم يعني بيقرروا مستقبلهم. هم لسه ما قرروش اذا كانوا هيبقوا دبلوماسيين ولا لا، لكن هو بيتمنى وحابب ان هم يدخلوا العالم الدبلوماسي. I noticed that you are fond of diplomatic career and you like this career very much. Do you achieve your aim and find what you search for in this career?
Yes, from day one, I would say. I was posted in the beginning of my career in Tehran, and this was very exciting and adventurous and interesting. And since then, every day I like my job, I must say.
What about women in Belgium and the role of women?
Women in Belgium are very, very active. There's the same amount of women working as men working in Belgium. Salaries are more or less the same, still a bit lower for women, though. This should change. This has to change. And so yes, they kind of live a very, very active professional life, equal to their husband.
الحقيقة بيكلمني طبعا عن دور المرأة في بلجيكا وانه هي ليها دور كبير جدا، لكن الأجور يعني بتكاد تتساوى مع الرجال، لكن طبعا في مزيد ان شاء الله من التقدم للمساواة بين المرأة والرجل في بلجيكا. So we will talk also about here and about Egypt and about coronavirus. And what about your instructors about this virus in Belgium and here in Egypt?
Well, in Belgium we took very severe measures. Of course, Belgium is a kind of a flat land right at the middle of Europe, so there's people coming in and out always, at all times. So it's very difficult, of course, to protect ourselves. It's not possible to make a zero COVID policy.
Yeah, of course.
We
try to avoid as much as we can.
Yes, we try to avoid as much as we can, and finally, somehow it's more or less succeeded. Of course, in the beginning it was a bit difficult because we had a problem in protecting the old people. It happens in Belgium that as the man and the wife work, when the old people sometimes have to go in elders' houses, and in those elders' houses, of course, they were very vulnerable to the virus.
Of course.
So there we had to take difficult measures, but then after 1 year and a half, finally it paid, and now we are practically everybody is vaccinated. So now it's better. And in Egypt, you've got a different approach, I think. You are a bit more relaxed on social distancing measures. At the same time, I see that people feel okay about the policy here. So a good policy is a policy that the people accept. Yeah. And the Egyptian people seem to live rather confidently with the measures as they are today.
Thank you for your coming and welcome in our program and in Egypt also.
شكرا قوي.
شكرا جدا. سعادة السفير، في النهاية كلمنا على الإجراءات الاحترازية في كل من مصر وبلجيكا الخاصة بفيروس كورونا، وإن إحنا ما نقدرش نتفادى الفيروس 100%، لكن إحنا بنحاول نقلل منه قد ما نقدر، وإنه شايف إن الشعب المصري بدأ يستوعب الإجراءات الاحترازية أكتر وأكتر ويحافظ على نفسه ويعيش حياته في نفس الوقت مع وجود هذا الفيروس. في نهاية حلقتنا بنشكر سعادة السفير فرانسوا كورني ديليزيوس، سفير مملكة بلجيكا بجمهورية مصر العربية وجمهورية السودان. النهارده اتكلمنا بصورة عامة عن بلجيكا، العلاقات المصرية البلجيكية، الأماكن الجميلة والمتاحف والأشياء المتميزة اللي موجودة في بلجيكا، طبيعة حياة السلك الدبلوماسي، وإنه لما بيكون السفير جاي من عائلة دبلوماسية وعشقه للعمل الدبلوماسي، وده يمكن اللي وجدته النهارده في سعادة السفير، لدرجة إنه بيتمنى إن أولاده يكونوا سفراء، وإن ده كان حلمه من زمان لحد ما وصل لحلمه. شكرا لحضراتكم، استنونا دايما وصور مشرفة وعالم الدبلوماسية وجناب السفير.